Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It's Tracy, your integrative nutrition health coach and personal trainer. And I'm excited today for our topic. And today I am having my wonderful special guest and friend, Tresa Leftenant, join us. And she and I were just laughing a moment ago about getting this broadcast up and running today. So, she's already, she's a podcaster and also on a radio show. And so she knows all of the things that happen behind the scenes. And so anyway, I brought Tresa on because as an integrative nutrition health coach, when I'm working with a client, we look at all areas of their lives. And one area is finances. And, Tresa, I'll go ahead and read her bio, but yes, so Tresa is passionate about educating women about the unique challenges they face pursuing financial independence. But I know, this is what I wanted to add, I know men can probably learn from something you have to say as well.
Of course.
This is definitely a good thing for men. But, she really wants to help us women expand our knowledge in the financial world. So Tresa is a certified financial planning professional, financial advisor, and senior vice president with Cornerstone Financial Strategies and Ameriprise financial franchise. She has 30 years of financial expertise in the industry, and basically she has, 30 years ago, you opened your practice, right?
Actually, my practice, I opened an independent practice in 2003.
That's right. Okay. Yes. In 2003. And then you are the author of a wonderful book called Reinventing Her, where you're helping women plan, pursue, and capitalize on their next chapter. And that is available on Amazon. And so, Tresa, you also host a podcast and you have a radio show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. And so anyway, Tresa, I am so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Tracy. You've been on my show, and so it's really nice to be invited to your show as well. And we've been friends a long time. I hired you to be a coach for me. So, we just are excited. I know we're both excited about how we can talk about how the financial life and the health life integrate together.
Yes, they really do. And also, what I've noticed too, when I'm working with clients is that you can be so burdened by the financial aspect, it makes the rest of your health really a challenge. And then also, maybe you can talk to this too. There's a lot of fear in making a mistake for women in terms of finances or making those financial decisions or investing.
Yeah, I mean, the financial world is detailed. Let's just admit it. And there's a lot of aspects that decisions can be made. And for women, we tend to be focused on, our talents and our skills. And we're nurturers, we're mothers. We tend to support, if we're married, we support our husbands. We may either be working or not working. So first off, we have a few things as women to sort of overcome in order to look at our finances from a really holistic and intentional way. That's what I really encourage women to do, regardless of how much money they have, is to just make a decision that they're going to find a way to integrate real financial fitness and real financial management, like intentional financial management in their life.
Right. And that's a really good point. I like how you mentioned financial fitness and, and I guess, that's a term we can use everywhere, right? Exercising fitness. You start to build the muscle, learning how to eat that supports your body. We start to build the knowledge. So what would you say to someone that's, really afraid to start? Like, what would be a good way to start moving forward?
Sure. Well, let me give you just a really good way to think about money in just a really simple way. So number one, we have to earn our money, right? So we first have to earn it. Then we have the opportunity to save it. save it for the future, for whatever we want in our lives. Then we spend it. Hopefully we have a chance to grow it. Definitely, if you're a working person and you have a retirement plan, you have a chance to grow it. And then ultimately, decisions to share it. So we earn it, we save it, we spend it, we grow it, and we share it. So if you look at those as just like the 5 core overriding decision categories that we have, then you can begin to break it down. Now let's talk about where supporting your health comes in. So let's say that you really have a health issue and you really know that eating more healthily is going to help you with that, or you want to pursue whether that's true, but you really don't think you have the money to invest in whatever that is, whether it's a health coach or going to a naturopath or whatever those different choices are. Well, what is the cause and effect there? I start with, how much are you earning? Because the earning is related to the spending, and the spending is related to the saving, right? So, I'm a financial planner. I believe that every woman deserves to have a plan based on her circumstances. And that's what we have to start digging into, is each individual woman's goals, what they're passionate about, what their resources are, and then how we can set up a plan to make decisions that move you from where you are starting from, or where you are right now, to where you want to go, where you'd rather be.
Right. And I love the concept. What I heard you say was, earn our money, save for the future, then spend. Is it in that order for some reason?
Yeah, it really is, because there's an old saying that we all know from, I don't care who raised you, save first, pay yourself first. And that's certainly true when you get to working and you're young, and then you suddenly have to make that decision. Okay, so I want to put money in my 401k. As my husband says, I want to make sure I pay old Gordon before I spend money for young Gordon. And that, it's such a great concept to really realize. So savings in our culture goes up and down. Some periods of time we save more and some we spend more. And certainly as you go through life, there's stages. You want to, buy your first home and have children. And so as we age, there's certain things that we want our money to do for us. And really, that's the whole point, isn't it? Money is for life. Money is to support the kind of life that we really want. But here's what answers your first question. How can you get a woman in particular, but a couple as well, to make planning what they want their money to do for them? How do you get them to make it a priority?
Right. And I think, like you said, we are very much a spend first society and instant gratification society. And what mindset thought would you encourage us to think of, to maybe, how do I want to say it? There's a mindset belief that when I'm saving, I'm taking away from myself versus, you know what I'm saying? It's that weird
I do.
dynamic.
And here is the bottom line about this. And we all need to check ourselves about how we are trying to keep up with the Joneses, which is what my mother used to tell me, but it's true. We have, and especially in today's society where we have so much media and social media to watch the people who are rich and famous, and they seem to have a better lifestyle. So we think we can be them. And so we buy a house that's too expensive for us. We buy clothes that way too many clothes. We probably all have clothes in our closet that we really rarely wear. And so we have to stop and look at what are the real priorities. I do think, people my daughter's age, they're getting a little bit better at this. There is a little bit less of that pressure to be rich and famous, and more to make a difference in the world and really pursue your passions, which is what I support when I'm talking to people, talking to women and to couples. What is it that you really are burning to do in this life? Because it's not to have a closet full of really expensive clothes. So that's the first question I think you have to ask yourself, is get grounded in what you really, really want your life to look like and what's truly important to you.
Yeah, and then having the patience
Yeah.
to let that come into our lives, I guess, if I can say that, have the patience and the ability, like you said, to stop and think before making a
Right.
step to overspend. Or I think of it this way too, as with what I put on my plate and eat, or what I'm willing to buy at the grocery store that is going to nourish my body in some way or not nourish my body. And so may we look at money the same way, that
Right.
second step, or
Well,
hey,
I mean,
wait.
back in the day before we were on house arrest because of COVID, you think about how much money the normal working person may have been spending on eating out.
Mhm,
And it's
mhm,
really a convenience factor and ease.
mhm,
When you're
mhm,
tired after a day of work, grab some takeout. And certainly that's most likely happening now, more than ever. But if you could shift that spending, because you know that your health is the most important thing you have to
mhm,
bring you to a long life, right? And
mhm,
I completely had to change my own thoughts about that, about my health, because I took advantage of my body. I come from really good stock of people who have long lives. And then in my 30s, I started having health issues. And it took
mhm,
me about 10 years before I was able to make myself a priority and stop spending money on the wrong kind of food and alcohol and things like that. And
mhm.
then begin to
Yeah,
learn how to make those better choices, because Tracy, it's individual, isn't it?
it is. Just yeah, and I love how you brought that up. Everyone's financial plan is totally individual.
Right.
It's not out of a box
No.
and like, "Here, do this," and I love how you just connected that. Everyone's body is different.
Mhm.
And once we settle in and we take a look at ourselves, either with our health, our career, our finances, and we start to really be able to see it, it gets actually very exciting. Maybe we don't like what we are seeing at first, and it's very painful.
Right.
It hurts because it's like, oh,
Yeah,
why didn't I wake
reality
up
can be
sooner?
hard.
Yeah, it can be difficult, but I truly believe until we are able to see it and we're able to see our our past habits that got us where we are, and we can dissect that, not in a horrible way of judging ourselves, but it's like,
Right,
oh my gosh, okay,
right.
now I can make steps. I'll step forward, even though I don't know everything yet. I can still move forward. Yeah,
That's right. It's a learning thing, isn't it? It's a
yeah,
step by step, which is what I, help my clients understand too, is that you can't
wonderful.
do everything at once. You have to take it step by step. But I will
Mhm,
say this, Tracy, is, more because science has evolved so that there's so much more ability to live longer. And,
mhm,
retirement at 65 is pretty much a thing of the past.
yes,
People, and especially women, want to continue to be involved in work and contributing to society much later in life. So,
mhm,
what is one of the main components? Well, they go hand in hand. You've got to have health and you've got to have money in order to
mhm,
have a long life. So, I
yeah,
guess the bottom line message is just take some time to integrate thinking and working with a professional like you and I so that you can develop a plan to take
mhm.
yourself into your 90s and perhaps beyond.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that investment in yourself. That was hard for me to understand as well. Why
Right.
I was so challenged with my health was I was a fledgling. I feel like I was a fish literally flopping all over the place. you know,
I hear you.
I don't know where to go. I know I'm out of sorts. I know I'm not what
Yeah.
I'm doing. And, and it's hard when you don't know what you don't know. And you don't even, like you and I were talking earlier, you're wondering, oh, what do you want me to talk about? And I
Mhm.
basically said, I don't even know what I
Yeah.
don't know that you need to tell us,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know? Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I
I don't
didn't
know.
even hear anything.
Oh.
Yeah. So what would you say? Um, let's see. So if if I was someone that didn't budget yet or didn't have any, even know how to do that, or I felt like I was someone that was so upside down,
Yeah.
and especially nowadays, like, we know we've had COVID, we've got people that probably have gone through savings. They're just trying to survive. But again, and um, what would you recommend? Again, back to mindset and courage and hope that
Yeah.
that someone could do.
Two things I would say is that getting into conversation with somebody is how you grow. When we only listen to our own thoughts, then we can get into this loop of believing the same thing over and over and never testing whether or not what we believe is right or not. And so one of those beliefs could be that a financial planner is too expensive. A financial planner is going to try to cheat me out of something. They're going to, talk me into something that isn't right for me. And so those are real thoughts that limit the opportunity to actually get into conversation with somebody and actually think differently. So when you're talking about budgeting, which, that is a word that seems very limiting to people.
Yes.
And, that's why we resist it so much. And especially if we are in relationship and you want to have a conversation with your partner about how you spend the money, and you can get into disagreements about what your priorities are. So the whole thing kind of just gets like, this is overwhelming. It's too much. It's fraught with emotion. And I'm just going to put it off. There's always this, well, I'm planning on doing it. And so you can feel good about yourself because it's in the future. I'm going to take care of this, but you never seem to get to it. So, to get into a conversation with somebody who actually has some experience on helping you choose and helping you prioritize. And more importantly, as I was saying earlier, figure out what your goals and your values are. I mean, are you spending money based on who you really are inside and what's truly important to you? That was big for me when I began to manage my money and spend my money based on what I cared about.
Yeah, I love that. I love that statement. And I think too, this is just my opinion, that our egos are so strong that we can't, it's very hard for us to put ourselves in a position where we say we aren't able to do something by ourselves,
Right.
And I'm the first to say I get myself in those positions, and I have to realize, okay, my ego's afraid of admitting I maybe don't know.
Right.
And therefore it stifles me from moving forward and creating a wonderful group that can support me, put support around me. So maybe we check that too, is that fear because we don't want to look silly and stupid and,
Yeah, I tell people all the time that when women meet me for the first time, more than 50% of them say, "Oh, what you do is such a great idea, helping women, but you wouldn't want to work with me because I'm terrible at money." And it's an overriding basic misbelief that that women don't know how to manage money, that women can't take risk, that women this, women that. And I know when you get into conversation, none of those stereotypes or generalizations are true at all. And so, that's what I would invite a woman to do who might be listening and who's like, yeah, I really want to do something with my money. I mean, what my podcast is all about is that women deserve to be the wealthiest they can possibly get in this life, and that pursuing wealthiness, so you have so much abundant money that you're able to really use it in those causes and those important things to yourself. That is the true journey of life. Pursuing and reaching for something that you first didn't believe that you could ever have, that growing yourself into the person. And when you look at somebody that you might look up to, like Oprah Winfrey, she did not start out wealthy. She grew herself into the person who has billions of dollars. And now look what she does with that money. And just one example of many, many women who are out there as leaders in the whole idea. And, I just want women to think bigger about money.
Mhm.
And, and a lot of women who are entrepreneurs are definitely doing that. They are like, I'm going to be a millionaire or a multimillionaire, and I'm going to figure out who I need to be in order to live that life. And not because of the materialism of it, but because of the ability to give back.
Right. And I love what you said about being willing to grow into the person that you see yourself wanting to become. And that means making these steps where you might be afraid. You may question yourself. You don't think you're good enough. That's a lot of it too. You don't think that you are worthy of that. And realizing, or maybe you think, there's no possible way. I have no extra money. I have no extra money. And learning how to turn those thought processes around, and be willing to be patient, to grow into the person you need to become. And, and I think too, sometimes, and we've talked probably about this too, is our dream is really big.
Yeah.
But our current ability to be that person may not be there yet. And so that willingness again to learn and grow into that person.
I am an example of someone who started out with very little money and no money. Let's just say no. In fact, I was tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt, as many women get themselves into that situation. And I'm not saying that they should feel bad about it. It's very easy to do, but it's also possible to transform from digging yourself out of a hole to actually building yourself your nest egg and climbing the mountain to where I'm at today, which is feeling very abundant, very and still growing. I mean, I'm older than you are, and I'm still growing my business, and I'm still helping more and more women. And I don't ever see myself ending that until I absolutely have to, which happens for all of us. We all get to that point where we either choose to wind down our work or we have to wind down our work. But now I have my retirement plan all set up, so that will be okay when it happens.
So one thing that we can do this with as well, which I'm seeing, and after talking with you, is one thing I often say, and I like to have women repeat to me, is and my clients, even the men, is my male clients, is that you are worthy right now of taking care of yourself.
Yes.
You're worthy right now to take the steps that will help you feel better in your body and your mind. And all this time, like, oh my gosh, all of you are worthy right now to take steps for financial, abundance.
Well, there is a direct link between the belief you have in your worthiness, because that word worth, there's a link between that belief in yourself and the results that you create with money in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And being able to figure that out, where, even where that mindset may come from, and be able to analyze it. And a lot of it is programming, that our brain has been fed, that leads us to believe that we are not worthy and we are not capable, and I love seeing right now what's happening in the world on the side that women are realizing that we are smart. We definitely have a place here on this planet that is important, and that you can choose how you actually can now, in so many ways that we couldn't before.
Well, what I love is the message that's out there that women have different talents and skills than men. We're not any better than they are. There's no better than, each other. There's different and unique. And each one of us, male and female, need to contribute our abilities and talents to the world.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. And I knew when we started talking, I love how we can go down these different little discussions, but, discovering what you're good at.
Yes.
And using what you are good at, what you're skilled at. And for so long, I focused on what I wasn't good at and tried to force myself to work and, I would get good in that area and I was successful, but my heart was just screaming and hitting my stomach. When I started to really realize what I was actually here for and what my actual skill set was, it all changed for me. So yeah, I love that. We all have different talents. We all have a reason to be here, in my true belief.
And life is school.
It
Life
is.
teaches us what we are supposed to be doing if we pay attention. And the good news is there's a lot more focus on consciousness and awareness and developing yourself, whatever word you want to put on that. But it is true that life is school. So if you haven't found it yet, it's just keep going. You will.
Yes. Yep. Keep seeking, keep looking, try different things on. Trust that gut, that pit, that feeling in your stomach. I used to ignore it all the time. It didn't know what it was talking about. What are you talking about? You're just and it'd be like a 2x4 hitting me in the head when I wouldn't, something would always come and wallop me big time.
Yeah.
Till finally I was like, and it was a scary thing for me. I finally was like, I felt like, oh, it's there. Oh my God, okay, I'm going to trust it this time and I'm going to listen. And it was amazing how it was like, it was still scary, because I wasn't used to operating that way. But yeah, yes, go down the road of learning, educating yourself. Now I know you offer, don't you offer a session or how can people get a hold of you and do that?
Okay, so do have my website in the notes because there is a place to schedule on my, which I may have given you the wrong email, but it's Ameriprise Advisors /Tresa.Leftenant. But anyway, you can schedule with me to just chat because in actuality, I'm a relationship that people have to decide if I'm right for them. And then I also have to decide if I can actually help the person. It's a really low risk kind of situation. It's just to get on the phone and explore what do you want? Where are you? Who am I? How do I work? And then we can decide if we want to go to another step. The financial services industry is really great about making sure that we do what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be transparent. We're supposed to say everything about whatever suggestion we make. And so people can feel fairly safe about exploring, but especially with a certified financial planner who is a fiduciary and someone who, like me, who's been around a long time.
Yes. I'm going to type in and put up a banner with your email or website again. So what do you want me to put in here again?
So it's Ameriprise. Oh gosh. Can we do it after? Because now I don't know.
What you can do is we'll put it. Yeah, it's a long one. I remember, and it's so hard to know. So I understand. But everyone, again, I know Tresa and her values, and she's just amazing. And just the thought of being able, if you want to talk to someone, I would really, really take her up on that. And then let's see. Yeah, and again. And the other thing too, like you just said, is what I do as well, is I have that complimentary session. So we can find out about each other. We can figure out if we're right fit and then you'll find someone that resonates with you, but we really need to make the steps,
Yes.
we are worthy of making those steps, those phone calls and we are worthy. So.
Yeah, I would like to say one other thing really quickly, which is there is fear involved in trying something new. Yes. And the fear goes away. That's what I hope women who let their fear stop them could actually be open to the idea that fear is a fleeting feeling. It is not unless we're in terror, right? Yeah. But talking to someone you don't know is it's a fleeting feeling. So if you can push yourself just a little bit past that initial feeling of fear, it will dissolve very quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we can feel relieved that, it's like that brain is so afraid, but helping it step through that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That takes courage. That takes the ability, just that moment where you go, I have courage. I'm going to call
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah. Yep. I have courage and step through that and give yourself a big pat on the back because
That's right.
after the call you'll be like, oh,
It feels great when you walk through fear and you come through on the other side, doesn't it?
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. It does. It really
totally.
does. So I cannot believe it's already 1 o'clock
I
and
know
we're
these
30 minutes.
conversations go fast, but I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
Me too.
And I'm really excited about the work you're doing, Tracy. As you know, your book is fabulous, and
Thank
I know your
you.
clients are transformed. So
Thank
thanks for
you.
inviting me today. It was great fun.
No, thanks for being here. So Teresa, you stay on and I'll go ahead and close down the broadcast. And
Okay.
so, okay. Thanks everyone for joining me for the first Friday of the 2021 year. And we'll see you again on our next broadcast. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.